Hey guys, what's up? I hope that you are all doing well. So, for today's episode, I really want to talk about how sometimes we can find ourselves in really hard circumstances in our lives where we feel like we're completely lacking hope. We don't feel like the things that we really want are ever going to come to us because we've had so much disappointment with things. Maybe there's something specific that you're really hoping and praying that you're going to have in your life. Maybe it's a relationship, or maybe you're waiting for a miracle when it comes to your health. Maybe it can be just, maybe you're wanting money right now, and you're in a really hard position in your life where you feel like you don't have money to do the things that you want. You're not able to enjoy the things that you know that you deserve to enjoy and experience in this life. So these are the people that I am talking to right now, and it really doesn't matter exactly what the thing is that you're hoping and praying for, but I think that if what I'm saying to you right now, for whatever reason, is resonating with you, then I invite you to continue to listen to the rest of this episode. And so I have been doing my absolute best at this time in my life to really drop down and feel like the hard emotions that I have when things come up for me, right? So, first of all, let me say, like, I absolutely feel you right now if you're someone who's in one of those dark places, because like I've been there multiple times in my life. And I just want to remind you that, first of all of us have souls, and I truly do believe that each of us chose to come in and incarnate on this planet. And so if you're listening to this and you're like, how is that possible? Like, is this really a thing? First of all, it is. And you know, I've spent a lot of time reflecting on this, and it's one of the ideas I think that makes the most sense to me. The fact that we chose to come here on this planet, and our souls knew what we were going to experience in this lifetime. And that's not something that's meant to be disempowering for you. I'm sharing that so that you can remember that every single challenge that you're dealing with right now in your life is absolutely something that you're capable of working and moving through. And I know you might be hearing that right now and you feel so like freaking fed up and tired. You feel like maybe you don't have the energy to keep continuing in this realm. And know that I am here for you, and like I'm with you. Like I know how difficult it can be to feel like that. Like if you say you're someone who understands all these things and you're like, okay, I know that I chose to be here. And now you feel like an idiot because you feel like, why would you have chosen to go through certain things? Why would you have agreed to be in this realm, experience the hard things that you're experiencing at this time in your life? And everything isn't exactly what it seems like. When I have had to work through um, really hard moments in my life, I mean, I've had to literally like grieve like I've never grieved in my life before. It took a lot of bravery and courage to just like show up in my daily life. And even if it's like you're at this place where you feel like you're not able to do all the things that you want to do, maybe because you don't have the energy to do those things, I just want you to know that like you are fully capable of working through everything. You are so incredibly powerful. And I know I always say, like, I'm so proud of you guys, but like, I genuinely mean that from my heart and soul, because I feel you and I understand you. I know that, a lot of you are going through things that, you're not telling anyone else in your life about. I know that you're doing the really hard work right now. Like you're doing the inner work, and maybe you spend most of your days every single day doing the inner work. And for a lot of people, it's hard for them to understand where you're at. It's difficult for them to understand why you take personal development, why you take just doing the hard work in your life so seriously. And it's something that a lot of people don't actually understand until they find themselves in a position where maybe they have to do all this work, or they're choosing to do that work, which is even a more powerful way of talking about what you're doing or thinking about what you're doing, right? Like if you can tell yourself that you're choosing to do those things, that's such a more powerful way of looking at where you are, right? Because you just have easily could have just given up and said, like, fuck this, I'm not going to continue the journeys I'm on. I'm not going to work through this hard phase in my life, and you could have just given up, like, you know what I mean? So I don't take that lightly. Whenever I see or hear about you guys doing as much as you can in your life to just like keep moving forward and to keep going, and if you're in this phase where maybe you're having these kinds of magical and mystical experiences that are happening in your life right now, um, you are a really freaking powerful soul. Like you truly are. Sometimes we have these really difficult experiences because they're going to really help us develop our spiritual gifts. And there's a lot of things that I've seen with people that I've worked with, and I've had this happen in my own life so many times. I have always been like the kind of person where it seems like weird, like mystical things kind of follow me. I've always been like that, even as a really young child. But it's like the older that I get, the more that I've had challenging times in my life where I've had to really like sit down with myself and like choose to continue to work through those hard things and not give up, is really when I started to see more miracles happening for myself in my life. So please know that everything that you're doing right now is not going to waste. Like you're not doing this for nothing. And yeah, like these amazing experiences that some of you may be hoping and wishing that you're going to have at some point in your life, like they're going to happen for you the more that you are open to them, and the more that you continue to do the work in your life to get to where it is that you want to be. And like, even if you're just so exhausted to the point right now where you're just like, be like, I literally cannot do anything. Like, if the most that you can do right now is like sit in your room and cry, then like you're still doing an amazing job. Seriously, you truly, truly are. Like, all those little choices that you're making right now to continue your life and continue your journey is so strong, it's so powerful, it's inspiring other people, and it's helping you get to where you want to be. Like there's going to be a time in your life where I promise you, I promise, if you keep going, that you're going to have a point where you're going to look back on these experiences and you're going to see how much you've grown. You're going to see exactly how these really hard experiences can really be someone else's survival guide. Like you're going to see how you maybe just even sharing a little bit about what you went through is going to inspire someone else and give them the hope to continue their lives. There's so much amazing energy that's behind being able to just show up and be vulnerable and talk about things. And I feel you if maybe you're someone who has a really hard time with being vulnerable. Like maybe you don't like to talk about things that you've been through, and that's okay too. That's absolutely okay. But just understand that sometimes there are certain things that maybe we're going through and we don't realize that there are going to be people in our lives that we're going to meet in the future who, when they hear about these things, you just sharing that is going to give them so much hope. Like, it's going to awake them to really be in their power and to understand that, they have other choices. Like, they don't have to give up in their lives. They can keep going. And it's so crazy to think that so many of us spend our lives and we don't believe that we have power. Like, we don't believe that it's possible that literally maybe some of these things that we are going through are not just for our own growth. Like, maybe it literally is because there's a very specific person or persons that you are going to meet 10, 20 maybe years from now, who's going to be going through something very, very similar. And maybe they aren't even going to share with you that hard thing that they're going through. But you just being able to work through and show up with what you're going through right now, whatever you learn from that, maybe you're going to share those learnings with someone. And you might not even know that that person is going through similar things that you went through to even get those learnings. And it's going to really change their life. That's why stories are so powerful. Like, that's why I love, like movies and reading things like that, because there's so much power in it. And sometimes we forget how powerful our own stories and our own journeys are. And so I really, I encourage you to take some time, take some time today, to, first of all, thank yourself for how fucking powerful and strong you are for continuing and being here right now in your life, for even showing up here and continuing to listen to this episode, because it takes a lot of strength to be able to do that, especially if like inside your heart and soul, like you're really feeling like you want to give up, and you don't have to do that. So sometimes when things are really hard, maybe we feel like we don't have another choice in our lives, but you always have a choice. You do. Like, you are the person who has the power and the ability to decide how you're going to change your life. You are going to decide how you can work through things. And I know that that sounds so fucking draining, especially if you don't have any energy to do anything right now. Trust me, I understand. But just understand that you can always choose better, and I'm telling you, like, you're going to look at this a couple years from now. Maybe you're going to look at this a couple months from now, because sometimes it be like that too. I'm telling you, it's like that. Or you're going to look back at this and you're going to realize just how much you're able to share with another person. And it's going to help you really be in just deep gratitude for everything that that you went through. And it's okay to keep praying about what it is that you want. And if any of you are looking for something like very specific right now, maybe you're praying for something very specific, and maybe you've asked for a sign that you're going to get that thing and you've seen your sign, like that you're gonna have it, but you're still feeling like, oh my God, this is so challenging. Like, I just want to give up right now. Just remember why you started this journey, remember why you've held on so long, right? Because if you're here and you've been feeling this way, then there are reasons why you chose to be here. So think about those things. And I encourage you to write these things down. Like, take time today to write down, write down things that you're grateful for in your life. And I'm not saying that to be like cheesy or shit like that. Like, I know there are people sometimes, like, maybe you feel triggered when you see positive quotes, or you feel triggered when you're in a dark place in your life and you hear people say things like, oh, like, practice gratitude. Like, there's a reason why people are saying that. They're not saying it to be toxic towards you or anything like that. It's There's literally science to prove and back up the fact that when you take time to exercise gratitude for literally yourself, your inner values, your strengths, it can bring up your mood, even if you're in a dark period in your life. And even if you're hearing this right now and you're like, you know what, be like, I don't even give a shit about doing that. Hey, look, that's cool too. So I'm going to share this with you. When you exercise gratitude, you are better able to attract more miracles into your life. And this is something that I can tell you that I've helped other people with. Like, I've taught people this and I've seen it happen. I've also had this happen in my own life so many times. Like, I literally can't even explain to you how many times in my life amazing things have happened, literally just from me just like taking a couple minutes a day just to like write down what I'm grateful for. When something really like bad happens, like, I've really over the last couple of years have like seriously gotten into the habit of taking time to um try to just like name one thing that I'm grateful for in that experience. Like, even if it's literally the worst experience of my fucking life. Like, I mean, like, I'm at the point where I'm not doing anything but grieving. I feel like I can't um get up, leave my room, can't go to class, can't do anything. Like, I mean, like, at that point where it's like, I'm not eating, I'm not doing anything. Like, you can do this. Like, you are fully capable of being here and existing in this realm. And you always have that choice. You always have that choice. And there's something magical that happens when you say to yourself, like, you know what? I know that I could give up, but I'm choosing not to. I'm telling you, when you are able to do that, is when you can attract more amazing things into your life. You can attract miracles. You can attract things that are impossible. And there's been times where I've done this, and the exact thing that I've been upset about, the exact thing that I've been praying for solutions for like months, sometimes even years, that I've never gotten, I swear to you, I've done it that day. And that day, that exact thing shows up. And it's funny because it's like, maybe in your um pain, in that moment where you're crying and you're praying and you're just so angry with God because you're like, I don't understand why I have to go through so much pain in my life. I don't understand why things have to be so hard and so difficult for me, but it seems like it's so easy for other people. Where I just, like, you just feel so tired. And you get to this point, eventually you get to this point where you're just like, you know what? It's going to be okay. Like, it's going to be okay. And something amazing happens when you can get to that point, when you can surrender, where you can say, this shit is really fucking hard. Right? Because when we hear about surrender sometimes, right? We hear about surrender and we think that it's this amazing, beautiful process where you're just like, everything's fine. Like, I'm zen, it's cool. Like, no, it's not like that. Yo, sometimes surrender literally looks like crying in your room for like the past fucking 3 days and getting to a point where you say, you know what? Like, God, I'm going to trust you with this. You know my heart, you know my soul, you know where I'm at, you know what I want, you know what I'm praying for, you know what I'm going through. And I'm just going to trust you with it. And I'm going to choose to continue to experience life. Like, I'm going to continue to keep going and to keep trying because I know that I came here for a reason, right? It goes back to that original choice for us to be here. I don't subscribe to the idea that, we're here for no reason. Like, this is just a random thing why we're here. That doesn't resonate with me. Anytime where I've actually taken the time to think about why I'm here, the things that actually make me happy, the things that make me feel like I'm connected to my purpose and things like that. I swear, I always come back to this moment of remembrance where I just feel like I know that some of these things were planned. Like I know that there's a reason why all of us are here, and it doesn't have to be like, like one simple reason. Like there are multiple reasons why we're here, guys. But it goes back to our souls, our most powerful self. Like that's really what your soul is. It's the most powerful, most intelligent, most unconditionally loving version of yourself. Was so powerful, was so knowledgeable, and literally still said, I'm going to be here. I know what this realm's going to look like, and I'm still going to choose to be here. I'm still going to choose to show up. And you know what? Maybe when I get here, I'm going to go through some really hard things. And I'm going to have these moments of remembrance where I'm going to remember how powerful, how strong I am. I'm going to remember that I have the ability to work through any and everything. And when you can do that, is when you're going to really start seeing more magic happen for you in your world and in your life. That's when you really start to see your relationships change for the better. It's when you're able to really open up space to receive that exact thing that you've been praying for all this time. So all your pain, all your grief, all your challenges are not going to waste right now. You are so incredibly strong, even if you don't feel like it right now. Like that's the thing too, when we're in these dark periods, sometimes we just like completely forget how strong we are. Maybe you don't have people in your life who are telling you that. So I'm telling you that right now, like you're really, really fucking strong. And your life isn't going to look like this forever. Like maybe things have been really hard for you in your entire life up until this point, and that's okay. Like I'm telling you, like, I feel you. You are not the only person who feels like that. Like, I've felt like this in my life before where I'm like, oh my God, like, God, why are all these things happening to me? Like, I feel like I'm spending all this time doing the inner work and I'm still not seeing what I'm hoping and praying for. But sometimes it's about being able to shift into these periods, because when you can get into that period of remembrance is when you start to access more of your inner power. Like in those moments is when I've learned so much about myself, my soul. That's when I've learned about my purpose. Like I didn't learn about those things from my life being so like positive all the time. I learned that from working through those hard things and figuring out who I am as a person and how I can still show up in my good energy. Like I learned that from doing hard work. And sometimes when you tend to be a really like positive person, people they misjudge you. They think that your life must be great all the time, or like it's easy for you to be positive because you don't really complain about things. But I want you to know that I see you and I acknowledge you. I love you. You're doing amazing. And the things that you want can still happen for you. This isn't the end of your journey. This isn't the end of your life. Like I said, you hold the power. Like choose better for yourself. And even if you feel like you literally don't have the energy to physically do better right now, then that's okay. Like just choose to be here. Take it one step at a time, one day at a time. Things don't have to be perfect. And if you heard that sound, sorry about that, if that threw you off for a sec, but when I hear things like that, like if my phone or something dings, it's funny. Like I always take that as like a little like confirmation from like the universe, like a yes, this is true. Yes, this is right. So that's your little ding for the day, guys. That's your little ding to give you confirmation and reassurance that you hold the power and you're learning everything that you need to at this point in your life. And you're so amazing. You're so powerful. And the world is such a better place, the fact that you're in it. And you're going to get through this period. And so, guys, if anything that I've shared with you is resonating, please know that you can look at my other episodes that I have on Apple Podcasts. If you're watching this on YouTube, watch some of my YouTube videos that I only post on YouTube. I have podcast episodes that I've never posted even on YouTube. So definitely go check that out on Apple Podcasts, All for the Dreamers with Beaonca Ward. I've posted episodes where I actually do healing sessions for people who are like in this exact position right now, where maybe like all the stuff that I just shared really are resonating with you. I totally encourage you to check those things out because I know you're going to find those things helpful. I go through some energy healing work on there too. And I have other episodes where I talk about some of these things and how to work through these challenges. I also want you guys to know too, you can always reach out to me. I am a certified life and spiritual coach and a mentor. Like all of the work that I do is geared towards really helping people just fully be in their power and work through these difficult journeys and places that they're in their lives, no matter what that looks like, right? So I'm always looking for new clients, especially for my VIP offers. So you can reach out to me at any time. And you can reach out to me through my website, beancaward.com. And once you guys do that, I'm going to get back to you and then we can schedule a free discovery call just to like talk about, what you're going through in your life. What are some of the things that you really want to create? And then we can talk about how maybe I can help assist you on this journey that you're on in your life. And please also too, guys, please make sure that you share this video, share this podcast episode with anyone who you feel like needs to hear these messages. I'm so grateful for you. I love you. And I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day.